I'm at Peckway, situated just below the Safe Harbor Dam along the Norfolk Southern Port Road branch between Harrisburg, Pennsylvania and Perryville, Maryland. Though this is the busiest line that follows the river at about 10 trains per day, finding one can be rather difficult since the traffic predominantly runs at night. Fortunately, on this spring morning in March 2021, 36A departed Enola Yard at sunrise for its journey east to Edgemoor, Delaware. A GE AC-44C6M and a Dash 9 that will someday be rebuilt into one lead the train over Peckway Creek and under some remaining catenary poles. I was surprised to see the DPU only 24 cars back, which was probably due to a large head-end set-off at Enola Yard that originated with the train in Conway Yard west of Pittsburgh. A large block of auto racks for the ramp in Newcastle, Delaware generally bring up the rear of the train. That upside-down L-shaped steel pole above the cars is the remnants of the catenary infrastructure I was talking about. 4 decades ago, these poles carried live wire that powered electric locomotives like the GG1 or E33s and 44s that hauled passengers and freight between Harrisburg and Baltimore in the Pennsylvania Railroad and Penn Central eras, ending under Conrail in 1981. I set chase to Conowingo, Maryland, about 20 miles down the line. Though trains average 30 miles per hour or less, there is no direct route between locations, and I barely make it in time. The tracks cross Conowingo Creek, and the east end of a 6,600-foot siding converges back to one track on the bridge at the control point known as Pilot, named after Pilot Town to the west, which was submerged 100 years ago after the completion of the Conowingo Dam. The Conowingo Dam raised the river so much that the railroad had to be relocated, which I'll explain more in my video featuring trains along the Port Road. What's unusual in this video is the announcement from the wayside detector 1.5 miles to the east. Many of you are familiar with Defect detectors that scan for hot wheel bearings or dragging equipment, but this one also monitors the dimensions of each car, looking for excess height or width before entering Amtrak's Northeast Corridor in Perryville. The train was rolling along fine, and I certainly didn't notice anything out of the ordinary, but this radio transmission I heard on my way to the next shot told a different story.
Norfolk Southern, milepost 10.0, light load, south rail near axle 289, car ID POAX880042.
I pulled into the crossing at Canal Road, located at about milepost 6.5. The track in the foreground is the 3-mile-long controlled siding between West Rock and Home, above the town of Port Deposit. I had to stay on the dark side of the track so I wouldn't get boxed in. There's not much room on the other side anyway. The crew informed the dispatcher, who told them to perform a roll-by inspection, meaning the conductor will get down from the train and visually inspect each car as they slowly roll by. The detector said near axle 289, which would be around car 68 including the engines. The conductor reviews the paperwork and patiently scans each car. About 9 minutes after the crossing activated, the troublemaker rolls into view and it's pretty obvious what triggered the alarm. At some point, a runaround hose was placed on this auto rack, and whoever did so left the reel hanging off the side, adding a few inches to the width of the car. A runaround hose is used when the built-in air brake line on the car has a failure that prevents the line from charging the brake reservoirs on the car, thus putting the train into an emergency brake application. Since air pressure keeps the brakes released, this hose acts as a band-aid until the car can be set out or shopped for repairs.
Actually, this is the next car up, line 67. Got a runaround hose on it and the wheel thing hanging from the side. Yeah, line 67 does, and they got the wheel thing that it spins around is hanging from the ladder.
Is it okay?
I took it off the ladder. The hose didn't stick it out or nothing, but they just had the thing the hose wraps around was hanging from the ladder.
Oh, okay. Just moved it in?
Yeah, I just hung it on the inside.
I relocate a few miles downstream to Port Deposit to wait for them to get back on the move. I wasn't the only one out for a catch on this nice sunny day. I always tell people that rail fanning is a lot like fishing. You head out, find a spot, and wait for your catch. Some catches are better than others, while some are just for fun. But that can be hard to explain to someone who thinks that all trains look alike.
Hey, Riverline Dispatcher. They put a runaround hose on it, and then they hung the runaround hose thing that the hose is on, hung it on the side of the car.
Hey, I'll tell the chief here, see what he says. It's definitely bypassed though, it's not just hanging there.
No, he said the runaround hose is hooked up, but the white hose rail, he said it was hanging on the side of the car.
Alright, I'll tell the chief here. It's weird.
He took it and put it up on the sill steps, so he said it's out of the way.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, that's a Roger. Coming ahead then.
Yep.
After informing the dispatcher what they found and getting permission to continue, the conductor starts his walk back to the head end, and about a half hour later they were on the move again. Luckily, this did not cost 36A their window onto the Northeast Corridor. I missed recording the conversation, but once NS trains get close to Amtrak, they call CTEC, or Centralized Electrification and Traffic Control, for permission onto the NEC. They received permission from Amtrak to take the signal at Perry without stopping. Normally, freight has to wait until there is enough break between passenger trains to get their window of opportunity for a clear track, since freight is limited to only 30 miles per hour during the day, which I'll also explain more why that is in my other video about trains on the Port Road. I decided to bypass Perryville and head to the corridor a couple miles to the east. Check out that lean as they come around the curve, similar to the banking on a racetrack, built that way for the high-speed Acellas and regionals that fly through here at speeds well over 100 miles per hour. There's just something neat about seeing a freight on a high-speed passenger corridor, especially given the difficulty of finding one during the daylight hours. This would be my last shot of the day before embarking on my hour-and-a-half drive back home, so I hope you enjoyed this chase and tune in for more Port Road and Northeast Corridor videos that I have coming soon. So as always, thanks for watching.